Please do not come to the United States. We are not the same country. It is not safe here anymore. They can pull you off the street. They can detain you. They'll do God knows what to you. They're doing it to our own citizens. They will do it to you. Please do not support American products. Don't buy American. Don't vacation here. I'm very sorry to say this, and I want to apologize on behalf of all rational Americans in this country who are fighting Trump tooth and nail with everything we have. We're sorry.
We are seeing a massive shift in how the globe interacts with America. And the results are empty hotel lobbies, canceled flights, and a tourism industry that is screaming for help. This isn't just about politics anymore. It is about the livelihood of everyday Americans who depend on the global economy, and how people in other countries view American society and its citizens.
Tourism is way down. And why? Because people come over on vacation and they get locked up for 4 or 5 damn days for no damn reason, and then they get let go. Oh, sorry, I thought you were somebody else. That's who's running the country right now. That's how America is treating people coming over who love this country and just want to come over and visit it. That's how we're treating them.
I think most of the world, if you say, hey, we're going to take a vacation to America, they will say, don't get shot.
Sure, yeah.
There are 154 countries right now. 153 of them can be celebrating this year because they've had a substantial increase in visitors from foreign countries in tourism. The one country out of the 154 that's had a decrease, the only country that's had a decrease, the United States of America. We've had 8 consecutive months of a decline in foreign visitors and tourists, and the numbers are staggering. Over 7% over last year, down. That's a revenue shortfall of over $41 billion. By the way, that's $41 billion. That's revenue that can't be recouped. That's not just airlines and hotels. That's everything from restaurants and retail and dry cleaners and theme parks and you name it that are hurting because of this. And will it get better right now for the United States? Right now, I'd have to say in the short term, probably not. It's going to get worse.
They are not lying about Vegas being dead, y'all. I'm a waitress on the Strip, and last year around this time, I made like $300 to $500 a day in tips. And today, I just walked home with $124.
So, came to Las Vegas for the first time, me and my friends, because we all turned 60. This is a freaking ghost town. I created content about how the travel industry is being hit, especially Las Vegas. This place is a ghost town. There are restaurants inside of all these gorgeous hotels. The doors are shut. I hopped into a Lyft because I don't use Uber. Don't use Uber, you guys. And the Lyft driver, I asked how he was doing, and he said, okay, but, you know, business is really tough right now because there's not that many tourists, coming in needing an Uber or a Lyft. And I said, is this what you do for a living normally? And he said, no, I'm a real estate agent, but everybody in real estate right now is suffering. And all of us agree nothing's going to get better until we have a change in administration. He came right out and said it. So he's like, I had to get this side gig. When I was departing from my airport, it's a Delta hub, meaning there are something like over 200 gates. And there was a time just a couple years ago when all those gates had Delta airplanes in them. There were, I counted, at least 40 gates that were literally shuttered, not even being used, snowed in, idle storage at those gates. Like, we're being really distracted, but this Trump administration, Republicans are tanking our economy. I can't stress it enough.
I think that the damage done to the United States' reputation as a safe country to be in and to visit by this administration is going to last decades, unless something really drastic is done by the subsequent administration.
Visitors are even being told by their home countries to take their vacations and money elsewhere.
Do you feel like your friends and family feel comfortable traveling there?
No. Nobody I know back in England or here.
And then the police can take them and just take them to a country outside the States, and then they're not a protected citizen anymore.
Horror stories are emerging of treatment at the border, with one story so shocking it's got many asking if America is still safe.
I think the atmosphere is changing there. So I would prefer we'll go there. I'd probably stay in Europe.
So United States tourism is plummeting in the billions. Billions of dollars, that is. And you know how folks often tell international communities how much they need our tourism dollars? A lot of Americans forget that their own cities thrive off of tourism. In 2023 alone, the United States travel and tourism market contributed to $2.36 trillion. And the cities and states that rely heavily on hotel taxes, sales taxes, and other tourism-related fees, less tourism for you means less funding in education, transit, and infrastructure in your city or state.
Did you know that many countries around the world have travel advisories against coming to the US? It is considered unsafe to set foot in the US. Many countries are actively warning their citizens not to travel here for as long as Donald Trump is in charge. Due to our lack of freedoms, the United States is no longer considered a first world country. We can't afford health care, we have excessive gun violence and school shootings, and we are deporting people all day, every day, for no reason at all. People are being detained and brutalized. US citizens, our own citizens. So it should come as no surprise that people all over the world wouldn't dream of setting foot in our country.
If you're planning your next holiday, there are a lot of places to choose from, but one that is falling out of fashion is the US. Since Donald Trump took office, America has reported a dramatic drop in the number of international tourists, and it's impacting the country's bottom line. In the usually warm month of June, tourist arrivals remained frosty, falling 6%. It continued a trend that has seen a decline in visitor numbers year on year since the start of 2025. The biggest drop-off has been visits from Canada, with the northern neighbours deterred by Trump's tariffs and continued threats to make their country the 51st state. Europe is also looking elsewhere, with a number of French, Swiss and Dutch tourists dropping, while Scandinavian nations are punishing the US for Trump's talk about getting Greenland.
Sending memes might not be so funny anymore, at least for travelers looking to visit the U.S. The Trump administration says it could soon require visitors to submit 5 years of social media history. And if they find something they don't like, you could be barred from entering. Currently, citizens from countries participating in the visa waiver program, including the UK, Germany, and Australia, must register online and pay $40 before they're okay to travel to the United States for up to 90 days. But according to the federal registrar, the new rule would not only require applicants to share their social media, but undergo a more detailed examination of their history, including the names of family members and where they live, and a selfie of themselves.
The U.S. lost $12 billion of tourism revenue last year. Canadians, Mexicans, Europeans, all boycotting Trump and ICE.
New rule, if you don't like America, you're not welcome. Yeah, if you don't like America, there is no reason for you to come here. You don't need to pack your bags from your country that's better than ours and move to America, because we have nothing to offer you.
I'm an American that's been living in Amsterdam for about 8 years now. I'm completely integrated. My partner is Dutch, which is why I moved out here. I speak the language. I've got primarily Dutch friends. And here are some of the reasons why I have found that the Dutch, particularly, don't like American. So the Dutch mentality is all about nuchterheid is the word that they use. And it's about being down to earth. It's about being level-headed. It's about being just like everybody else. Nobody is better than anybody else. And if you look at the American mentality, it's completely the opposite. It's about trying to be better than everybody else, trying to be the star, trying your hardest to be something. They find that type of mentality completely rude, dishonest, and how they like to call it, fake. The second biggest reason is because Americans are brought up with the idea that America is better than everybody else, this savior complex that they saved everybody. They are the example, and that couldn't be further from the truth. If you look at things like gun control, healthcare, safety, equality, I mean, the US is the worst. Not admitting to that is something that they completely hate. And lastly, I don't know why, but there is this view that Americans are dumb. We are just dumb to them. I think that's something we're never going to be able to change. They're always just going to view the American mentality, the American mindset as just dumb. After 8 years living here, I can safely say that I totally agree with the Dutch mentality and I share their view on us Americans, sadly. As much as I love my American friends and my American family, I don't love my country, and I only saw freedom and opportunity until I left it.
The America magic, the America dream, the spell that they were all under, they don't care anymore. Nobody wants to go to America. Even my assistant who lives in Pakistan, he was saying how it was his goal for a long time to save up money and move to America. And he doesn't even want to go now. Why? Chill. Stay in Pakistan. He'll be the most baller, big chilling guy in Pakistan working with me. And if he moves to, America with his wage, he's going to be on food stamps. Not literally. I pay him well, but you know what I'm saying.
A lot of travel is down into the United States from around the world. It feels like there's been reputational damage.
Country's doing great. Well, prices are down.
Not the tourism.
Gasoline's down. Energy's down. Tourism is going to be way up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is way up.
I know.
Now, Canada, tourism's doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. Wait till you see the real numbers come out in 6 months from now. Wait till you see the numbers.
Is anybody else absolutely 100% not going to the U.S.? Like, I wouldn't go to Nazi Germany, so I'm not going to the U.S. Anybody else? Yeah, I'm good. They got nice deals down there in Las Vegas. It's a quick flight from me here in Vancouver, but I'm good. I'll head over to Greenland, check out Greenland for a bit, but definitely not the U.S. Not right now. Sorry, guys, no.
Germany is asking its citizens not to go to the U.S. Do you guys, Germany is saying, for anybody who's not mad about that, that's probably because you don't have family in Germany. The rest of us have family in other countries. So we are now living in the land of the free, but also can't see anybody outside of the land of the free.
One of the many reasons I will never ever move to America. Forget gun crime for a moment. Biggest thing on the rise right now, death by ICE agent. The amount of terrified citizens in America right now. We think we've got immigration issues over here. I mean, at least we're not murdering them.
We are seeing a massive shift in how the globe interacts with America. And the results are empty hotel lobbies, canceled flights, and a tourism industry that is screaming for help. This isn't just about politics anymore. It is about the livelihood of everyday Americans who depend on the global economy, and how people in other countries view American society and its citizens.
We don't really want to spend our money in a country that is undertaking certain actions within the world that's destabilizing the world and likely undertaking illegal activity onto other countries.
We've certainly curtailed our plans to visit the United States and buy goods from that country.
Do you have any plans to go to the States in this?
No, I do not. I wouldn't want to. I think it's challenging to go back there now. There's too many questions, searching your phones, asking what you're doing. It's just not worth the hassle. It's intimidating crossing the border. Whether you're, even when you don't have anything to be worried or intimidated about, it can be stressful.
It's kind of scary with all the news I'm hearing and everything. I am an international student, so I do have get a visa and then go in there. So there's a lot of things I have to do before I travel to the U.S. And then if I get to the U.S., there might be other problems there as well. So I just trying to be safe.
I moved to the United States in the early 90s, and then I just moved back here just this last summer. I didn't like the politics. I didn't like a lot of the changes in the regulations and stuff, and it just felt safer to be back in Canada.
I have kids and grandkids, and they changed their mind about going to Disney because my daughter says I absolutely refuse to go to the States. She doesn't feel safe. I hate to point out Trump, but it's one of the obvious reasons. If the politics changes in the States, for sure I think we would go back.
Latest political action with going over to Venezuela, it's just what? What's next, And so you don't know, because that was very unexpected, it seems like. So, who knows?
Very unstable. You know, and instability in any country with politics makes you question whether you would go there and take children or your grandkids there. You know, it wouldn't be a wise choice.
I don't want to get down there and not be able to get back.
To be honest, it's put me off going to America. You know, I don't like his policies. I don't like the way he thinks. Yeah. All the stuff going on with ICE, I don't like any of that. Yeah. Not a fan of any of it, to be honest. I did plan a trip. I was thinking of going to New York with my brother, you know, before the latest election, and honestly, it's put me off. Yeah. You know, I'm brown, so it's not. It's not great. Yeah, I don't want to go there. Exactly. Yeah. I feel like I'd rather not give money to not a regime, but you know, to a country that I'm not a big fan of.
So I just got back after 10 weeks being in Italy, and there was one common thread that kept coming up every time I spoke to anybody and told them that I was from the United States. Everyone, Italians, Germans, Danes, French, they're all afraid to even visit the United States. They all really think they're going to be deported the minute they land. People will say, I want to visit America. I've always dreamt about going to visit America. But then the next thing people say is, I wouldn't want to go to the United States right now. I'm afraid to visit. My immediate reaction was always, that's crazy. Of course you could visit the United States. They're just going after the illegals. We're getting a lot of news about various different ICE raids, people being rounded up where they're being rounded up. That's not the news the Europeans are getting. What they're getting is when a European traveler is having a problem at the border, that then makes the news all around Europe. This is Jessica Brioche. She was held for 46 days, including a reported 9 days in solitary confinement due to tattoo equipment in her possession. This is Lucas. He was 22 days into a 90-day tourist permit. Now, he's got a language barrier. He incorrectly answered a question and they detained him. Here is Fabian Schmidt. This is a permanent U.S. resident. He was stripped and placed in a cold shower despite renewing his legal permanent resident status in 2024 and having no active legal issues. Here's a British national, Rebecca Burke, 28-year-old Welsh backpacker. She was held for 19 days in an ICE detention facility. They're hearing story after story. It turns out it's true. Story after story after story of Europeans actually being detained at the border.
What's the biggest problem about the 2026 World Cup?
That it's being hosted in America, being in the United States.
That it's in America. Oh, because it's in America.
So, I don't know about you guys, but me, as a European, I'm pretty scared of traveling to the US. I was thinking about going to the World Cup, but that's not an option. Like, chances are pretty high that I'm gonna die. Killed by ICE. Like, what we are seeing currently in the US, the last 2 weeks, what happened in Minnesota, this literally feels like Nazi Germany. If they kill US citizens, then what are they gonna do to foreigners? Especially so freaking many that are planning on going to see the World Cup games. Yeah, I don't know. This is... What the fuck is happening in the US, man?
Here are some things that people are saying about us. Australia has now deemed us unsafe to travel. In Norway, they are constantly talking about America and how we have the parallels to World War II and how our societal progression is constantly backpedaling. Germany has actually made an opera making fun of Trump. The UK is also deeming us unsafe to travel to because they believe that we are headed towards a Holocaust. Kim Jong-un believes that we have gone too far. Yes, the leader of North Korea believes that we are going too far. Even Switzerland has now chosen a side. They are finally speaking up, and if it is that bad that Switzerland officially chooses a side, that's how you know it's bad.
Do not come. Do not come.
So y'all know them travel advisory reports that the United States loves to push out, basically telling us to not go to certain places because they're violent or it's not safe. Yeah, so the Department of Commerce has now issued a report showing a growing list of countries advising their citizens to not come to the United States, to not come and visit the United States. Yeah, now we are not the safe country.
Do not travel to the US right now. This is literally what every single video on my For You page is telling me to do, or what not to do rather. But I literally have flights booked for May. And no, not for leisure. I mean, I guess kind of. But basically my mum lives in America. And I literally said to her about a month ago when we booked my flights, I said to her, I'm really not comfortable with coming. I don't feel good right now about the US. I really don't want to be there, to be honest. And then I also said to her, I've been seeing videos, and not very many, but a few videos about tourists getting like detained. I also spoke to her about the fact that green card holders were getting detained, but she sort of put like an end to my nerves and said, you know, like I really want you to come, like I want you to see my new flat, like that kind of thing. And I felt really bad, obviously, because I want to go and see my mum and I want to go and like see her life and whatever. But I had a big old conversation with her where I was like, I don't feel safe. Like I truly do not feel safe there.
And if I were to be safe there when I was traveling, it would be because of privilege, and that makes me feel sick. And now my entire For You page is Americans saying stay the fuck out of the US because they are literally detaining and questioning tourists now. And more than that, they are checking their social media.
So I've cancelled my next trip to the United States. I was looking forward to it as well, like going to Boston, New England, beautiful places, lovely people. In fact, I even have both friends and actually some relatives in Maine, but I've canceled it because ICE or whatever the hell it is detaining people. I mean, they detained a young Canadian for 10 days. They apparently arrested a bunch of Germans recently. They're going through people's phones. Like, this is meant to be the United States is meant to be the beacon of democracy and freedom and so forth. Well, it is anything but. This is what fascism actually looks like.
Do not travel to America. Do not travel to America for the next 4 years. Especially as a black or brown person. You do not want to get caught up in Trump's deportations. I'm sure by now you've heard of the German and UK tourists who were arrested by ICE and detained for days. Allegedly, the German tourists were chained. You do not want that to be your story, especially if you are taking your family on holiday with you. We already know that Trump has a checkered history with racism, and he's managed to infect a large proportion of that country. Do not spend your hard-earned money on a country that does not appreciate you as a black or brown person.
Please do not come to the United States. We are not the same country. It is not safe here anymore. They can pull you off the street. They can detain you. They'll do God knows what to you. They're doing it to our own citizens. They will do it to you. Please do not support American products. Don't buy American. Don't vacation here. I'm very sorry to say this, and I want to apologize on behalf of all rational Americans in this country who are fighting Trump tooth and nail with everything we have. We're sorry. We're doing the best we can to get rid of this guy. And all his crooked cronies, but we're having a very difficult time doing it. We handed him the keys. An ignorant populace handed him the keys to this kingdom, and we're finding it very difficult to even slow him down, frankly. I think America's done. I hate to say that, but I don't know how much we can do, what we can do to slow this guy down. We're trying very hard. Please don't support us anymore. And to my government, my friends in government all over the world who we dealt with in business and for so many years, you guys were so good to us all over the place. You know, France, Australia, the United Kingdom, of course, Canada, of course, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, all over Asia. You guys have been wonderful partners to us for years. I'm so sorry Trump is treating you like dirt. Don't expect anything better from him in the future. He's a tyrant. He wants to be a dictator, and frankly, he's turning into one very quickly.
Do you see any checks on your power on the world stage? Is there anything that could stop you if you wanted to?
Yeah, there's one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop.
Not international
and
law.
That's very good. I don't need international law. I'm not looking to hurt.
Again, we're having a hard time slowing him down. I'm sorry to say that. Please don't trust this guy. If you're working in government, he makes you a promise. His promise is worth nothing. I've known this guy for 30 years. His word is worthless. And that goes for all of his crooked cronies in our GOP that are supporting him. Do not trust this guy. Do not trust. The reason I'm telling you this right now, if you're wondering, is because I'm getting out to a couple million people on social media a week now. And he's going to shut me down. He's shutting friends of mine down. He's threatening my friends that have millions and millions of viewers on social media, that are rational thinking people. He's threatening them within an inch of their life. He's going after them for taxes. He's going after them for any way he can. And I'm afraid it's going to continue, and I won't be able to say this, so I'm saying it now. Do not trust anything American at this point. We are not the same country. I don't know that we ever will be. Again, apologies from America. You guys have been so great to us, and we're so sorry.
This situation is developing fast, and frustration is only getting worse with tourism. Where do you stand on this? Is the world being unfair, or is this a wake-up call to America? If this video resonated with you, please like, comment, and share. Subscribe for more in-depth stories, and check out the video on the screen to watch more videos about what's happening in America.
I just wanted to put out a request to anyone that's not living in the hellscape that is the United States right now. Please don't come here. Nothing else is working. Nothing's working.
Everyone is protesting.
A new controversy is brewing as reports of a global boycott of American tourism sparks anger among some Maga voters. They say the backlash is unfair and damaging to everyday Americans. Listen closely as people from across the country share their reactions and personal stories about this growing international tension.
Child, tourism is down in the U.S. Let's talk about it.
While MAGA diehards keep chanting, "We don't care," every time someone points out the cost of Donald Trump's policies, international tourists are quietly delivering the one response that matters in Trump's America, which is they're not coming to the United States for vacations. We have new data now from the World Travel and Tourism Council. The U.S. is on track to lose over $12 billion in international travel spending this year. That's a decline of 7%. It's not because suddenly the sand on the beaches is no good. It's not because the theme parks got rid of everybody's favorite ride. It's because the rest of the world sees what the United States under Donald Trump has become: expensive, hostile, and unstable. And they're voting with their passports. Of the 184 countries surveyed, the U.S. is the only one with an absolute decline in international visitor spending. According to the WTC's CEO, quote, "The U.S. has firmly got a 'we're not open for business' sign right now."
The America First policy that the Trump administration has been implementing is killing foreign tourism to the United States.
Tourism in America is facing a government-induced crisis right now. Some of America's closest historical allies, Germany, France, the United Kingdom, have issued travel advisories to their citizens about visiting America. International travel in the U.S. has been on the rise, and forecasts projected a 9% increase in 2025. However, those projections have now been revised down, with some estimates showing at least a 5% decline and possibly even worse.
Every economic red light in Las Vegas is absolutely blaring right now. It is difficult to overstate how serious the situation is. And of course, Las Vegas is generally seen as a bellwether for the United States economy. But don't just take my word for it. The numbers are staggering. This is the most distressed housing and rental market in Las Vegas since the Great Recession.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media. These international flights have many tourists flying to the USA practically alone. Shauna Massengill flew from London to Chicago. Look, barely anyone on board.
It was really shocking. I've never been on a flight like that.
This flight from Toronto to New York is also practically empty.
The United States is no longer the destination for the best and the brightest to come to study and do their scientific research and medical research. And it's because now we have the ICE Gestapo thugs, and they've rounded up innocent people and thrown them in concentration camps or kicked people out of this country who deserve to be in this country. And so people are reevaluating and they're going, don't really want to end up in CCOT.
We're about to lose $90 billion in this country because people don't want to visit the land of the free. And frankly, I don't blame them. Tourism is down, way down, because people are scared. They're scared of being detained, scared of being harassed, scared of the violence. And it makes sense why they wouldn't want to come here because of it. 1 in 10 jobs in the United States are affected by tourism. So when people don't come here, that means no hotel stays, no going to restaurants, no spending money out sightseeing. That's a big impact on local economies. So when tourists stop coming here, jobs are going to disappear. Businesses disappear. It's a big deal when we lose that big money.
A lot of travel is down into the United States from around the world. It feels like there's been reputational damage.
It's doing great. Well, prices are down.
Not the tourism.
Gasoline's down. Energy's down. Tourism is going to be way up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is way up.
I know.
Now, Canada, tourism's doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. Wait till you see the real numbers come out in 6 months from now. Wait till you see the numbers.
If you're planning your next holiday, there are a lot of places to choose from, but one that is falling out of fashion is the US. Since Donald Trump took office, America has reported a dramatic drop in the number of international tourists, and it's impacting the country's bottom line.
The US lost $12 billion of tourism revenue last year. Canadians, Mexicans, Europeans, all boycotting Trump and ICE.
If you own any type of business that is related to tourism, know that Donald Trump and his administration is trying to bankrupt you. This administration has destroyed the tourism industry of the United States. Make no mistake about it. Canadians have all but stopped traveling here thanks to Trump. And that's just Canada. All the other countries around the world have stopped traveling here. Friends of mine who recently traveled to and from Europe have reported half-empty planes. If you own a vacation rental or a small hotel, a bed and breakfast, whatever, you notice it. Everything is down. Business is way down. And they're continuing to do everything to hurt the tourism business, not help.
$31 billion. The United States of America is negative $31 billion in tourism so far in the U.S. in 2025. 6 consecutive months of declining tourists from other countries. This is the answers that I get. Nobody wants to come to a dictatorship. Nobody wants to be detained. Nobody wants to be shipped to a foreign country. Las Vegas experienced the worst amount of visitors in October since 2021. I want to remind everyone that Las Vegas, Florida, California, New York, those all are large tourist destinations that generate hundreds of thousands of jobs and stimulate hundreds of thousands of jobs. Canadians alone normally bring $20 billion to the USA. That creates an additional 150,000 jobs and stimulates thousands of more jobs. Nobody is coming here for at least the next 3 years, as long as we are on a human rights violation watch list.
Breaking news this afternoon. So tourism in the United States is down by at least 20% in some areas, such as Las Vegas, New York City, etc. So I guess the government of the United States does not realize that the economy's trash, tourism is down, and now the administration wants to put a fee. If you apply for a visa to come into the United States of America, they want to impose a fee of anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 in order for you to be able to get a visa and come to the United States. And once you leave, the time that you requested through your visa is up and you leave, they will give you back the money that you paid, supposedly. So, I mean, I don't understand if they don't realize how bad this is going to affect the economy even worse than it is now, how much worse it's going to make travel. Do you honestly think that the way the world is right now, people have $10,000 to $15,000 extra just lying around to pay for a visa to come visit?
Did you know that many countries around the world have travel advisories against coming to the U.S.? It is considered unsafe to set foot in the U.S.
Fellow Brits and fellow Europeans, do not travel to America. Don't do it. Do not do it. Every day we hear another despicable and disgraceful story of people being kidnapped off the streets by ICE, green card holders being deported, immigrants with protected status being sent off to countries that they're not even familiar with.
But basically my mum lives in America, and I literally said to her about a month ago when we booked my flights, I said to her, I'm really, really, really not comfortable with coming. I don't feel good right now about the US. I really don't want to be there, to be honest. And then I also said to her, I've been seeing videos, and not very many, but a few videos about tourists getting detained. I also spoke to her about the fact that green card holders were getting detained, but she sort of put an end to my nerves and said, I really want you to come, I want you to see my new flat, that kind of thing. And I felt really bad, obviously, because I want to go and see my mum and I want to go and see her life and whatever. But I had a big old conversation with her where I was like, I don't feel safe. I truly, truly do not feel safe there.
They are not lying about Vegas being dead, y'all. I'm a waitress on the Strip, and last year around this time, I made $300 to $500 a day in tips. And today, I just walked home with $124.
Vegas is just crazy, and there's party everywhere, and then we arrived here, and it was like a dead city.
What happens in Vegas could spell trouble for the U.S. economy. The subject of chatter on social media for months now. Empty streets and casinos. One even saying Vegas is actually dead.
Why aren't Canadians traveling to the U.S. according to the study and survey that you did?
Well, long story short,
They're angry and their feelings are hurt. But one thing that we've seen consistently is that it's the political rhetoric, the trade policies, the tariffs, and so forth that have really, really made the United States of America less desirable to Canadian travelers.
Please do not come to the United States. We are not the same country we were 4 months ago. It is not safe here anymore. They can pull you off the street. They can detain you. They'll do God knows what to you. They're doing it to our own citizens. They will do it to you. Please do not support American products. Don't buy American. Don't vacation here. I'm very sorry to say this, and I want to apologize on behalf of all rational Americans in this country who are fighting Trump tooth and nail with everything we have. We're sorry. We're doing the best we can to get rid of this guy and all his crooked cronies, but we're having a very difficult time doing it. We handed him the keys. An ignorant populace handed him the keys to this kingdom, and we're finding it very difficult to even slow him down, frankly.
I think it's time we boycott America. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. Boycott America. I've said it before. I'm personally not going there. Normally, I love going to Florida with the kids and the family and what have you. That's somewhere that I've always been, but I'm not going there. I'm certainly not going there until this administration is gone, until that man passes, hopefully on a stage somewhere whilst he shits himself. Literally, I'm not going. I'm not going. And if you've booked a holiday, cancel it.
So I was going to make this other video because people are talking about that the tourism and the small businesses are going to be okay here in Florida. Well, I'm in Tarpon Springs, Florida, and we are in a big tourist district called the Spun Stocks. Normally, we are packed with people. People are walking around. People are spending money. People are enjoying themselves. See this back here? I am the owner of Fresh and Tasty back there. Right there. I can't open every day because we do not have the tourists out here. So, yeah.
From small business owners to travelers and workers in the tourism industry, many say they're already feeling the impact. Maga supporters argue the boycott punishes ordinary people, while critics say it reflects global frustration with American politics, and it's well-deserved. These voices reveal how international tensions can quickly hit close to home.
So, I don't know about you guys, but me, as a European, I'm pretty scared of traveling to the US. I was thinking about going to the World Cup, but that's not an option. Like, chances are pretty high that I'm gonna die. Killed by ice.
Is anybody else absolutely 100% not going to the US? Like, I wouldn't go to Nazi Germany, so I'm not going to the US. Anybody else? Anybody else like, yeah, I'm good.
One of the many reasons I will never ever move to America. Forget gun crime for a moment. Biggest thing on the rise right now. Death by ICE agent. The amount of terrified citizens in America right now.
A lot of Americans forget that their own cities thrive off of tourism. In 2023 alone, the United States travel and tourism market contributed to $2.36 trillion. And the cities and states that rely heavily on hotel taxes, sales taxes, and other tourism-related fees, less tourism for you means less funding in education, transit, and infrastructure in your city or state.
We're actually watching America isolate itself in real time, and it's already affecting tourism, businesses, and scaring everyone away before they even arrive. You see, US tourism spending has gone down tremendously this year, and that's all thanks to Trump's policies, with a major travel analysis showing that international tourism in the US has actually gone down by 8.2% in 2025 alone, which, by the way, completely reverses the earlier forecast of growth, with economic losses of about $12.5 billion since America's a business now. And that's largely tied to tighter immigration rules, tariffs, and an overall negative sentiment towards the United States.
Okay, how are y'all shocked that all these people are boycotting the FIFA World Cup? Why wouldn't they? You truly think that they will want to come to this country just to be harassed by a bunch of forever always groiping ICE agents, also known as But seriously, they should have told y'all something when people stopped coming into this country for vacation. Mostly Canadians going to Florida. This is further proof that Trump destroys everything he fucking touches. Tourism's down. Of course, tourism down.
Why would anybody outside the U.S. visit the U.S. right now? The risks so outweigh any reason to go to the States, in my opinion.
Your travel in the US might be getting cheaper, but it's not for a good reason. Because of all the chaos that's been going on at the US border and more broadly in geopolitics, a lot of people internationally are choosing not to travel to the US anymore. International travel from other countries to the US is way down. Plane arrivals in particular were down over 10% year over year. Bureau of Labor Statistics also reported that March was the first month where we actually saw costs for things like car rentals and hotels in the US go down. Goldman Sachs estimated that in a worst case scenario, we'd be losing 90 billion in GDP just this year due to these international travel trends.
So $250 to enter the United States. If that's not reason enough to boycott, I don't know what is. Now, I'm sure there's a lot to unpack in the rules. It says online a non-immigrant visa, but this could even apply to Canadians, and why that gets my back up. Obviously, I'm Canadian.
I thank Donald Trump for the boycott that we're currently receiving in the United States from Canadians. I know most of you may not be feeling this or may not see it yet, completely unaware because you don't see it in your daily life. But just let me tell you this. I had a couple of riders this week, both from Toronto. Both are coming down to see family. One had a newborn baby in the family, and the trip had been scheduled for a while. And the other had a sick family member that they needed to come see. And they both told me basically these stories. Number one, that when they went to the airport, that the U.S. Customs, and for Canada, you get on the U.S. Customs and Canada, that there was like nobody in line. And that both planes were like half full as opposed to being completely full. And usually there's a 2-hour wait or more that they told me. They also told me that because of Donald Trump, and because of his tariffs with Canada and the way that they have been treated by Trump, they are boycotting every single product in Canada that is made in the United States.
If I did not live in the United States, I would not come here. If I was about to take a trip to another country and it was not absolutely necessary, meaning it was like a very close friend or family member who really, really needed me or needed to see me or some very, very special occasion, I absolutely would not travel there if they were doing to their citizens and non-citizens what's going on in the United States right now.
The craziest thing about America right now is that, like, the world actually hates us. The entire world hates us. And they've already kind of hated us, but now they like outwardly hate us. Everybody we used to do trade with, all of our allies, the global economy literally hates America. And a lot of these Trump supporters who are still delusional enough to support him, even after he's defunded their child's education, taken their farms away, ruined their veterans' benefits, affected their social security, rolled back their constitutional right to freedom of speech and freedom of press, greatly infringed upon due process for anybody who sets foot on American soil, depleted their tourist economy as well as red state export economies. You know, even after all of that, there's these people who still support him and think that he's doing a good job and don't understand that not only is he globally hated and ruining their lives, people think he's a joke. Nobody's scared of him.
So I'm in Orlando and it's peak March break, and I want you guys to take a look at what it looks like right now. It's literally just my kids and one other couple in the pool, and this is peak March break. I'm starting to think that Canadians are serious when they said that they're going to start boycotting America and American products.
Oh, Mom, these are from the U.S.
Let's see. USA. Yeah, put them away.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the whole world boycotted the US World Cup 2026 because they're allowing Israel to play and attend, and they're banning the likes of Iran from attending. So, boycotts are in order.
Well, the World Cup's becoming a nightmare. Not only do the spectators not want to come to this country, but now the teams and the players don't want to come either. The world has watched as CBP and ICE have murdered 2 people on our streets, and now countries like Germany are meeting to discuss pulling their team out. The Netherlands has a petition going around to boycott the World Cup in the United States, and the UK PMs are also calling for the United Kingdom to boycott the World Cup just to embarrass Trump. And the travel bans are now affecting teams that actually qualify for the World Cup. Fans from Haiti, Iran, Senegal, and the Ivory Coast are being blocked from coming to this country to watch their country compete. Personally, we have many friends over in the UK and in Europe who will not come to this country Friends that usually come to this country several times a year, they will no longer come here, especially with their children, because they can see it's not safe. And they watch the videos without the spin from the White House feeding it to their cult members. They saw how they murdered 2 people on our streets and then completely lied about it. And they're not happy.
I am so glad that I've cancelled all travel to the United States. The news just beeped up that the Orange Man has just cancelled all negotiations for trade with Canada. Once again, he's just a bully and a failed bully and a misogynist and a convicted felon. And of course, I think 6 bankruptcies. And now he's started war in the Middle East after promising, of course, peace all over the world. And at one point he thought Putin should be the arbitrator of peace. But even more seriously, a Canadian died in an ICE detention center in Florida, a Canadian citizen. So that is on them. That is murder, or it certainly is neglect. I read the other day about a woman of Guatemalan origin not given prenatal care and losing her child and being forced to have a stillbirth in detention. This is how horrible it is.
Across Europe, a quiet protest is playing out in supermarket aisles. American products left untouched. The hashtag Boycott Trump is gaining traction as Facebook groups rally Europeans to push back against US policies with their wallets. Michel joined a French group in March.
As long as we have aggressive policy of American administration, we want to make pressure to say, stop it.
His group even provides an app called DeTrumpify Yourself that lets consumers know if a company's funding traces back to the United States.
So in our last video back, we posed the question to Canadians, why is it that you're not coming to the United States for your vacations? Is it economic? Is it political? Is it some other reason altogether? The overwhelming response was, we're not coming to the United States while Trump is in office.
You wouldn't have gone on holiday to Nazi Germany, would you? You wouldn't have gone and spent your hard-earned money in a state that was actively committing a genocide, would you? You wouldn't have knowingly gone and spent your money and therefore supported an economy of a state that was knowingly committing human rights monstrosities, would you? So why the fuck are we still going to America on vacation?
To all the countries around the world that supply America with their goods, from their clothing to their food, to their vehicles, to their electronics. How about we boycott America for a few weeks? Stop sending stuff over there. They have no production over there in America, so let's just see if we can teach them a lesson. Just a thought.
Okay, so I've been getting a lot of this kind of stuff from people not in America. Real anger at America, real anger at Americans, and it's warranted. And I've also been getting this question, what can you do to stop this? And I think this is true for people abroad. If you object to this, and I hope you do, boycott America. That's what you should do. You should hurt it economically. That's exactly what you should do. Don't come here for your vacations, this person says. They wouldn't come here if someone paid them. Exactly right. Don't spend your money here. Don't buy any of our products. Don't buy any of our services. I'm sure you can find alternatives. And why am I saying this? Because the only way America is going to change is if it is hurt economically.
I just wanted to put out a request to anyone that's not living in the hellscape that is the United States right now. Please don't come here. Nothing else is working. Nothing's working. Everyone is protesting. Everyone's protesting. We're saying, no, we don't want it. Stop it. And it's not working. The only thing that speaks to this administration is money. So don't come here. Okay? If you are planning to travel, don't. Cancel your trips. Cancel your hotels. Cancel your flights. Cancel anything you have coming up in the next year. Please. The more expensive it was, the better. If America is no longer a place that people travel to because it doesn't feel safe and we lose out on all that money, maybe that will be a form of protest that our government understands.
The reactions you've heard today highlight just how interconnected the world has become. Decisions made in politics can ripple far beyond borders, affecting businesses, communities, and everyday livelihoods. For some MAGA voters, the boycott feels like an attack on America itself. For others, it's a sign of deeper global tensions that can't be ignored. What's clear is that the debate isn't going away anytime soon. If these stories gave you a new perspective, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more real stories from across America, and click the video on your screen to see how people in other states are reacting to the issues shaping the nation today.